Yo, yo, yo. Happy Thursday. So, I haven't made a video in a few days. I didn't trade the past 2 days. Um, I've just been trying to be, like, really, really disciplined and only take setups that I have a lot of conviction in. Um, and I just didn't really see anything that I liked for the most part. Um, Tuesday, I was kind of expecting us to drop into that daily fair value gap, um, but Tuesday was kind of just like an expansion move, like all the way up there, and I just didn't like anything there. And then Wednesday, after rejecting the fair value gap, we also had like SMTs here and stuff. I was expecting us to have a retracement down into these lows. Um, which did end up happening, but I also did not take any setups there either. Um, I'm trying to see if there was any standard deviation projections, but main thing on this day was these equal highs we had. Uh, so I didn't want to take shorts. Here we had sort of this like accumulation range. Um, and once we took these lows, I was not trying to go short because I didn't know if we wanted to maybe come up there. But so ended up coming all the way down to the draw, and then we did have some bullish moves later in the day on Wednesday. So let's go back. I was still pretty bearish here. Um, we had some SMTs down here, and then if you mark out the standard deviation, we had some great opportunity in here to get long, but I wasn't really I was still short biased, so I didn't see that. But anyway, going into today, so we're over here on the charts. Once we had this big push lower, I was assuming that rejection from the daily fair value gap, like we're gonna go lower now. So we had that big push, 5-minute fair value gap here. We reject that, start to go lower, and I took a pretty horrible short. I just saw us rejecting here, rejecting this area, pushing lower. I just assumed we were gonna, tap into here and then just continue rolling over to these lows here. Instantly got stopped out on that, and then I sort of like took a step back, looked at all of the structure, and realized that this was going to be a bullish model, not a bearish one. So standard deviation, we got the news high here, plenty of buy side resting above here, and if you zoom out a bit, a lot actually, we're holding OTE this range. Let's see this projection. Yeah, so came down into OTE of that range. So let's zoom all the way back in. And then we also had OTE of this range that I was literally shorting in. And then once we had this big push up, I realized this was probably bearish. Selling off all morning. Chances are we're going to go higher, especially after this huge range after market close yesterday. So this huge range, we probably want to go tap into that. So started to realize that, and we had this I'll just delete this. Had this 1 minute here, which also ended up being a 5 minute right here. And it also lines up, you know, with, I mean, this is just crazy right here. You know, all of these highs here, like these order blocks here, and we ended up holding that with the bodies, and wicks ended up doing the damage. But I got long, and I was going for this internal high. The reason being, I thought the 2 to 2.5 standard deviation was a good TP, and the 4 lines up perfectly with this, so I was really confident in this model. I got tapped in on my long on the 1 minute, and then big push up, and once we took out all of these highs here, I moved my stop loss to right about break even, right about there. Ended up getting stopped, bounced up again, still holding that sort of those order blocks and this 5 minute fair value gap before expanding to the upside. And I'm sure I could have gotten in somewhere else, like here or in here, you know, but I just decided not to. You know, entering up here, like, my fill is so much worse, and, you know, I just have less conviction in this than I do down here. So yeah, that's that. I got stopped out at break even. This would have been a big old trade, and then we ended up going much higher, so yeah, I thought that was very interesting. I was also tape reading throughout the day. This was another setup that I found interesting, this 15-minute order block. And then you could see us just like tapping through these lows and never really being able to break below them. And then just insane rip to the upside for this as well. But I didn't take anything else for the rest of the day, so ultimately, I mean, the first trade I shouldn't have taken, but this trade I'm very happy with. I think this is a great trade. So, you know, unfortunate that I get stopped at break even, but to be honest, I don't see a reason why, not that I don't see a reason why the market would do this, because obviously it's to shake people out and just accumulate more longs. You know, I was used as liquidity. They used me to fill more buy positions, so it makes sense. Also looking at ES at the time, we were here, so this was ES's draw on liquidity. So that pullback, yeah, was right in here. You know, ES was so close to taking out this draw on liquidity. You know, NQ was just kind of shitting the bed, which was surprising. And then NQ ended up being way more bullish after the fact, which is interesting. But yeah, like I was so confident that we were going to go higher from this structure that when we started to pull back, I was like, debating, like, I was like, you know, do I move my stop loss back to where it was? Like, this is such an obvious model to me. But then I was just like, no. And I'm not upset that I moved my stop to break even, because I mean, look what we did. We disrespected this fair value gap, right? We disrespected you know, this order block, right? These down closed candles. I mean, I guess we held this whole thing as an order block. You know, we didn't disrespect that order block, but we came below the midpoint of it. You know, we disrespected this order block. Like, it's just not indicative of bullish price action. And we had already taken out liquidity here, which was also in a 5-minute fair value gap here. So, you know, I was just not gonna risk getting stopped out on that, and I think that's totally fine, getting stopped out on that. You know, so I'm not too upset with it. It's just unfortunate. Realistically, it should have just been a break-even day, because I shouldn't have taken that first trade. That was just kind of a bit of like a FOMO sort of trade there. But yeah. So regardless, taking it slow, trying to be disciplined, but ultimately very happy with how I've traded this week. I've only taken 3 trades. You know, 1 winning day on Monday, and then a small losing day today. And you know, I think this sort of, although it's a lot slower, sort of, it seems, because I'm not trading as much, I think it's just way better for the mind. I'm way more composed. I'm not like fucking going crazy, you know. When I took this loss, I took a step back, zoomed out on my charts, sort of like reanalyzed everything, and like realized that my bias was wrong, flipped my bias. You know, rather than just me like doing a bunch of stupid shit and getting stopped out 5 times and being down $100, you know. So this approach that I'm taking is definitely doing me relatively well. So I'm just gonna stay doing what I'm doing, trying to be as disciplined as possible. So if I trade tomorrow, I will let you know by making another video. I definitely didn't expect this massive move. I don't know what's up. I guess it's earnings season. With the right when the market closes, we just like have insane moves. But yeah, this is looking pretty damn bullish. You know, who knows? This might be the manipulation leg, and we do have a ton of low resistance liquidity. But I don't know, way too early to tell. So sort of just gonna see what happens at this high here. I believe we're also back in that daily fair value gap. This is disgusting. This right here. But anyway, we're back in that daily fair value gap. So we're gonna have to see what happens. But looking at the weekly, we kind of just tapped that order block and we're ripping to the upside now. So again, this daily chart is filthy, but you know, we do have this big daily fair value gap here on NQ. So we'll just have to see sort of what happens, what news brings. So hope you did well, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.